Okay.
Yes.
All right. So today I will talk about bio-based biodegradable plastics. Is it actually a good solution or an issue for Europe at the moment? How we see it. Just first, briefly, as Ulrika already presented me, my name is Jelena Barbir. I'm the lead project manager of the project Bioplastics Europe, which is coordinated by Hamburg. And it's funded by the EU. So first of all, just quickly, what are bio-based biodegradable plastics? What are bioplastics? It's even rather difficult to understand what is it. Just the use of the name, it's at the moment complicated. So we hear quite a lot usage of bioplastics, which, as you could see here, it's rather complex and diverse, actually, application of it. So bioplastics might be bio-based and also biodegradable, but also only fossil-based and biodegradable. What we do in this project, we are focused only on the so-called bioplastics, which are bio-based and biodegradable materials. So, as I mentioned, it's really complex topic. So we in the project created this this infographic to show actually on our website as well those differences between fossil-based plastics, bio-based plastics, what means biodegradable, what means non-biodegradable, what are actual differences between biodegradable and compostable, and so on. So this is to also, to our opinion, first thing that someone when starts using those materials should know, and the proper usage of the name and terms, it's rather important. So yeah, this is what we use in Bioplastics Europe. So we are focused on biodegradable, bio-based plastics. So as you all know, the plastic pollution poses a serious problem at the moment. So the urgent actions are really needed. In this project, we are trying to find solutions and the answer how to deal with this polluted beaches, to the enormous amount of plastic waste. And the team of our scientists is developing also innovative biodegradable bio-based plastics, and jointly with the wide network of stakeholders, we are trying to evaluate what could be their sustainable usage in Europe and their place. So the question here is if and how. So we do not actually state anything in this project, but we investigate if bio-based and biodegradable plastics are a good solution for the EU. So still, of course, there are some solutions that are already found, really nicely investigated, and could be used already. They have their place in the system, but not all of them. So it's still a work in progress. And here in this project, we do research. We want to find out how bio-based and biodegradable plastic can form part of the solution in the EU level. So as I said, we still don't have all the answers, but we are on the good way to find them. Just quickly about the project. It consists of 22 partners. This is a mixture of university research institutes and private companies. And from Europe mainly, we also have one private company from Malaysia. And the project started in October 2019, and it's running till September 2023. As I already mentioned, it's coordinated by Hamburg University of Applied Sciences, and we are visible on different social media channels and on the website. So for further info, you can check here. What about our objectives? So besides the main objective to actually develop sustainable strategies and solutions for bio-based plastic products, we have the different specific objectives which are linked to our work packages. So the objective number 1 is linked with the work package number 3, and it's to define, test, and deploy innovative product design strategies that are made from renewable resources, transformation of current, and creating new bio-based products. Then in objective number 2, we are dealing with mapping of current waste collection and management schemes and addressing technical and economic barriers to bio-based plastics recycling. And this is linked with our work package 4, plastic waste collection, recycling, and littering. Then in the next objective, to investigate the potential impacts of bio-based plastics on terrestrial and aquatic environments and possible implications to human health. Here we are studying this in work package 5 and 6. And then objective number 4 is to build a biodegradable plastic sustainability framework and to produce safety protocol, which is mainly work done in work package 6. And in objective number 5, to develop innovative business models. This is work developed in work package 7 and 8, which is focused on the replication, policy making, capacity building, and upscaling, and on LCA and business models. And finally, the communication strategy, which is linked to work package number 9. So what we do here, we use those work packages, all the inputs that we are collecting here in order to push this green wheel and push toward a circular economy. So as you can see here, it goes from the waste collection to recycling or composting to the feedstock, then production of material, production of end user goods, and then use and reuse of those goods, and finally waste collection again. In this project, the goal of this project is actually these solutions that we find that are sustainable. So as you can see from our expected results, there are different focuses. Some of those are environmental, some social, some economical, or in some of those cases both. What we, first of all, we have to focus on different applications of new bio-based biodegradable materials, which is cutlery, soft and rigid packaging, agricultural mulch films, toys, and some aquatic materials. And then we want to do is to create those innovative materials where we mainly focus with the environmental issues. Then we have a really good stakeholder engagement strategy. So we cover also this social aspect where we have the stakeholders engaged working together with us in the project. So in those two, we already have some first results. Now, at the moment, we are mainly working on the business models, which is the economical aspect, and on safety protocol, which are under development, which is covering environmental and social aspect of the project. So at the moment, we are in the phase 2 of the project. We do research, development, and implementation. And in this project, we are focused on those 8 applications as mentioned, and we developed a first group of 5 materials. So at the moment, we have the materials. Well, probably you will hear more about it from Ari and Pauline afterwards, who are representing Arctic Biomaterials and Natureplast. And actually, those 2 companies, with them, we created those 5 new materials that we are working on and testing further on. So some of those are PBS-based as material for soft packaging, some PLA-based as for rigid packaging, fishing crates, also agricultural mulch film and cutlery, and PHBV based material, which will be used for toys and fishing bait applications. What we did once the samples of those materials were prepared, they were sent to the laboratory and to the field test. We have a huge scheme of different tests that we are running. So the test protocols were finished and the test started in September last year. So first results we have obtained already this year in autumn. So now we are collecting everything. We are here in this step here now. Collecting the results and sending it again to the companies and material developers to modify the compounds accordingly. After probably the second round of the modification, the materials should be ready. But of course, we don't know that. We will see how the process goes. Just quickly, the overview of the testing sites. As you can see, it's distributed all over Europe. So we have different kind of tests. So we have institutions that are working on modification of compounds, as you can see here within ASAP, and here in Germany by LBF, Nature Plast, and ABM. And then biodegradation of materials, so testing the biodegradation in soil, river, sea compostings, and in laboratory tests. Then ecotoxicity, which is tested on biota, and in control conditions, the further development of the materials regarding structure, stability, recyclability. Regarding the economic progress, as I said, it's linked with our work package 7 and work package 8. So we are working now on the life cycle assessment, life cycle costing actually, and also together with work package 7, here we are working on designing new business models, working closely with the stakeholders of interest as well. And then the social progress. So as you can see here, we focused on those different groups of interest for the project and for the outcomes of the projects. Those are scientific communities, policymakers, city municipalities, producers and consumers, and general public. We have different strategies. So we have a stakeholder engagement strategy that I will explain a little bit further. And we established 2 networks, the research bioplastic, the European Bioplastic Research Network, and Historic Cities Against Plastic Waste network as well. So the stakeholder engagement is actually focused on all those groups, all those communities. The network, the research mainly on scientific policymakers and producers and consumers, while the HISCAP network is covering municipalities and general public. Just quickly to explain you the strategy that we use to engage stakeholders. So if some of you would like to join us, you can follow this scheme, and then later on just do a few clicks and join us. As you can see, we are sending the information from the project via our website, scientific publications, events, press releases, newsletters, and so on. Also via our social media, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And we reach a lot of stakeholders in that sense. Those stakeholders somehow get in contact with us, so they are informed about the projects, and we create pool of stakeholders. So it's basically the people who are starting to be interested in the project. Of course, some of those will just leave, they will lose the interest, but what we actually want is this light blue people entering the circle in the figure, and here we are offering them different kind of engagement. The most valuable one actually is those experts, target stakeholders across the entire value chains. And we are running a lot of different workshops where we work together on different topics with those expert stakeholders and getting their inputs in order to feed the project outcomes. And then we also have a network and associated partners to the project, so those who are not receiving funds directly but are contributing the project, and mainly are different companies and so on. Then we have a different network where we are joining forces with other projects, for example, another Horizon 2020 or Horizon Europe project, and those networks that I mentioned, the HISCAP and the research network. So once those stakeholders get more engaged, they get their place, and then we work together. And then in that way, we improve this networking, capacity building, experience and knowledge exchange. Then we get a direct input to the project scope, and then jointly we contribute to the EU policies. So if you would like to explore this, everything is online, so you can just click here. Later on, I will share it in the chat. So you can just fill in the stakeholder form and join us in this way. Just briefly, the networks. So we have in LinkedIn over 500 members within European Bioplastic Research Network. We are preparing events, foster communication, share experience, and so on. And in HISCAP, we have 55 official members. So it's mainly focused on municipalities to join, although it's not limited. And we already prepared 4 events so far for this network. So what we did and what we want to transmit. It should be, we should be really careful, evaluated if bio-based plastics products are environmentally preferable to fossil-based plastics, especially to avoid this competition for the food chain. So this is something that many people, when you mentioned bio-based products, think of. So this is also something that should be really careful when communicating. All biodegradable plastics cannot be considered truly biodegradable at this stage. So sometimes when you read biodegradable, it's still questionable. So how long this biodegradation is, and so on. So all this, it still needs to be really defined when communicating. Labeling products as compostable and biodegradable has the potential to increase the risk of littering somehow. So this is also something tricky that we are also trying to address in the project. And yes, biodegradable plastics might be appropriate for a small range of products that are intended to end up in nature. So of course, this is something that Arjen and Paulina, they also know when we have our internal discussions. So of course, it's really important now to define for which product actually it makes sense that it's biodegradable, and for how long this biodegradation should be, and for which is not. So biodegradable, yes, it is really good solution, of course, but only if it's managed correctly. And we still do have some many questions to be answered. So it has a lot of benefits, of course, but the process, it's rather slow as well. So we still need some research on materials. We need more research and guidance still on disposal of those materials once produced and used. And a good strategy is needed for successful implementation of them. So as I said, some of them, they're already there around us. They found their place on the market, and they're showing to be the good choice, but some of them not still. So it's still a lot of work to be done. So is it a solution or not for the EU? At this moment of the project, yes, we would say it's definitely a good solution, but it's a long-term solution. So we still need really clear things to be defined, really clear strategies in order to do it well, and not to do and to avoid any mistakes if possible. So yeah, this is more or less what we are doing here in our project, and I would like to thank you for your attention. Once again, I apologize for my voice. I gave my best, and I would like to now stop sharing my screen, and maybe if we have time, maybe for a short comment or question, and if not, we would move forward to the next presentation.